From Hollywood legends feeling as though they're entering the final chapter of an epic run in the spotlight, to comedy icons hanging up their big and small screen funny bones in favor of throwing paint at a canvas. These are those actors you probably didn't realize were closing in on an exit from the industry. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 actors you didn't know were quitting. Number 10. Mark Wahlberg. There's no denying that Mark Wahlberg has enjoyed quite the prolific career since stepping into the movie business in the early 90s. And while it may feel as though the shredded Boston native is showing no signs of slowing down at this current moment in time, with Marky Mark rocking up in Uncharted, Me Time and Father Stu in 2022 alone, the Academy Award nominated star may actually be closer to calling it quits than you think. As Wahlberg himself would note this past April, his work on the aforementioned drama Father Stu has recently opened his mind to the idea of putting his energy into projects designed to help people. But he'd then follow up that positive revelation with an update as to when he's looking to kiss the land of Hollywood goodbye once and for all. Sooner rather than later, probably, were the departed actor's comments on the matter, with Wahlberg suggesting that leaving his 4 children behind for significant spells while shooting is becoming too difficult a sacrifice to make. So don't be too surprised if the producer businessman decides to finally take his last Hollywood bow in the not too distant future. Number 9. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's days of consistently kicking ass and taking down bad guys look to be coming to an end soon enough as it goes. At 70 years strong, the Academy Award nominated acting veteran can still be seen battering antagonists on the big screen like an all-round badass granddad, with his most recent outings of Blacklight and Memory both showcasing how he's still capable of throwing a decent punch and picking off goobers with weapons. But Neeson is under no illusions that the idea of an old man being able to see off villains this convincingly is starting to become increasingly far-fetched. He even confessed as much last year, telling Entertainment Tonight that he was probably finished with the hard-hitting genre after his next few entries landed in theaters. And the Star Wars and Dark Knight trilogy icon would only further allude to his action star retirement earlier this year, explaining how, despite still getting away with it, he knows the audience aren't stupid. Soon enough, they're gonna go, "Oh, F this guy Liam Neeson, he's gotta be 71, 72, 73? So expect this Neeson action renaissance to draw to an explosive close before too long. Number 8. Denzel Washington. The iconic Denzel Washington has done it all and seen it all. And it's this reality that has left the 2-time Academy Award winner pondering what is really left for him to achieve in front of a camera as he enters his late 60s. The legendary figure has most definitely slowed down his output as a performer a touch over the last few years, only boasting 3 acting credits since 2018. And this can likely be attributed to the fact that the Training Day and Equalizer superstar is looking to do other things at this stage in his life. Going further, when speaking at the premiere of The Tragedy of Macbeth, Washington openly explained how he was looking for challenges while sitting in the yellow leaf of his career. And when revealing that it would probably take an extreme challenge for him to be interested in stepping back in front of the camera at this current moment, he confessed that outside of playing King Lear, there's not that much left for me to do as an actor. It's worth noting that Washington is set to star in Equalizer 3 next year, but after that, there's every chance Denzel will finally turn his attention away from performing completely and focus solely on adding to his already impressive director-producer CV. Number 7. Sandra Bullock. Another star who has enjoyed one hell of a spell in the spotlight over the last few decades. You can't exactly blame Sandra Bullock for wanting to take a step back from the relentless world of movie making, but the way the Speed and The Blind Side star worded her recent announcement of calling it quits as an actor for a spell was enough to leave many of the legend's die-hard fans wondering whether they'd actually seen the last of Bullock on the big screen. As the Lost City leading light explained to Entertainment Tonight in March, she wasn't entirely sure how long she'd be stepping away from the business for, but Bullock felt that it was time for her to spend some quality time with her family for a while. And the movie legend's clarification on not explicitly claiming she was fully retiring at this exact moment only came equipped with further signs that this could actually be it for Bullock going forward, with the actor explaining, "I never said I'm retiring. Unless while I'm with the babies, if I decide to retire, then I'll make that announcement." All in all, Bullock's future in front of the camera is anything but clear. However, what's certain is that she'll be at least temporarily retired from the business for the foreseeable. Number 6. Jim Carrey. If it had told fans of the elastic force of nature that is Jim Carrey a few years back that his final ever movie role would see him bring into life the villainous entity of Dr. Eggman, In a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, they'd probably not actually be all that surprised, to be honest. But it is still a little surreal to think that Carrey may actually be well and truly finished as a thespian. The star himself simply doesn't look to be in any rush to add to his absolutely stacked resume though, with Carrey unexpectedly claiming to Access Hollywood in April that he's fairly serious about calling it a day as an actor. Again, Carrey hasn't fully ruled out the possibility of going back on his jaw-dropping revelation, admitting that if a really important project finds its way to him, then he might continue down the road. However, the unmistakable icon seems only too happy to stick to his quiet life of throwing paint at a canvas going forward, signing off that apparent retirement declaration with the notable statement of, "I have enough, I've done enough, I am enough." Well said. Number 5. Steve Martin. Steve Martin also recently stole more than a few headlines on the back of claiming he was finally set to pull the plug on his 60-year screen career. The one-of-a-kind comedian, actor, writer, musician has been enjoying a great deal of success and acclaim for his part in Hulu's Only Murders in the Building series lately. Yet once his role as Charles Hayden Savage is over and done with, Martin has claimed that he'll be pretty much finished with this whole acting malarkey. While speaking to The Hollywood Reporter in August, the 77-year-old father of the bride and Three Amigos legend explained, "When this television show is done, I'm not going to seek other movies. I don't want to do cameos. This is, weirdly, it." And seemingly just like that, one of the most celebrated big and small screen comedy stars of all time looks to have called it a day, in terms of showing up in a movie or TV show at least. Luckily, Only Murders in the Building has been renewed for a 3rd season, so it's not quite time for Martin to pack away his acting chops just yet. Number 4. Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth added yet another rather profitable title to his ever-growing list of Thor hits with this year's Love and Thunder. Coming out of that most recent slice of colourful action though, the question on most fans' lips centred around whether or not the Australian star would be ready to step back into the Marvel Universe again after his latest wacky outing. After admitting that he was caught a little off guard by that 4th Godly Entry's end credit statement of "Thor will return," Hemsworth would ultimately share his feelings in regards to another solo film appearance as the God of Thunder in the future to Vanity Fair. As he put it, "I feel we'd probably have to close the book if I ever did it again, you know what I mean? I feel like it probably warrants that. So if this particular MCU Chris does indeed return, it looks like he'll be hanging up his godly gear for good shortly after." The Extraction and Furiosa star has also recently revealed that he'll be temporarily leaving acting behind for a spell too, noting how after learning of his heightened risk of developing Alzheimer's on his Limitless show, he's choosing to spend some quality time with his family, and quite rightly, eh? Number 3. Gary Oldman. Excelling in everything from the Dark Knight trilogy to Harry Potter, and every other critically acclaimed hit in between, the Academy Award-winning titan that is Gary Oldman will go down in history as one of the greatest performers of his or any other time. But the Commissioner Gordon and Sirius Black sensation knows that all good things come to an end, and has openly addressed recently how he's already begun thinking about what life will have in store for him once he decides to leave the performing to the next generation. Speaking to the Sunday Times on the matter of when he feels would be the right moment to bring his acting career to a close and turn his attention to his other interests outside of the art, Oldman explained how he'd be happy to hang it up after his time as Jackson Lamb in Apple TV Plus's Slow Horses comes to an end. Simply put, the 64-year-old acting legend has no intention of being active when he's 80, and he likely wants to bow out of the industry sometime before that. But with Oldman even going as far as to refuse to cut his hair for Christopher Nolan's incoming Oppenheimer epic due to his commitment to the part of Lamb, it's clear the passionate artist is still focused on giving his all to what could be his final ever role. Number 2. Ethan Hawke. He may not be straight up cutting ties with the industry and settling down for a well-earned retirement this very second, but the multi-talented screen veteran that is Ethan Hawke is most definitely heading into his final act as an actor. That's according to the Moon Knight and Training Day star himself, who recently revealed to IndieWire that he's finally made the turn from old young person to being a young old person, whatever that means. And with that, the prolific movie maker has confessed to very much being in the beginning of my last act. Now, Hawke didn't go as far as to fully describe precisely which project would be his last by any means, but he was refreshingly honest in his statement of only having so many movies left in him as he reaches the end of his enviable career. And it's that realization that has led to a complete change in mindset for the 52-year-old thespian, with Hawke once happily accepting the vast majority of the opportunities that landed on his doorstep in his younger years. Now though, expect the black foam figure to pop up on your screens less and less, as he weighs up whether a project is really worth leaving his family for 3 whole months in these latter stages of big screen brilliance. Number 1. Brad Pitt. Classing it more as something of a last leg than a final act, this Fight Club, Snatch and Ocean's 11 icon quickly captured the attention of the masses in July when sitting down with GQ to talk about his epic run as an actor. And with Brad Pitt heading towards the big 6-0, he openly admitted to the magazine, "I consider myself on my last leg, this last semester or trimester. What is this section gonna be, and how do I want to design it?" And while he would rush to clarify this statement as not being an immediate retirement by any means, Pitt would ultimately add that I'm like past middle age, and I want to be specific how I spend those last bits, whatever they may be. Those very much sound like the words of a superstar thespian who has most definitely done everything there is to do in this business, and is likely just weighing up how to best spend his last bits of time as an actor in the limelight. Sure, he likely won't be hanging it up before the end of the year, but this particular Pitt is clearly closer to quitting the life of an acting megastar than many may have realised before said GQ sit-down. And that's our list of any other actors people didn't know were quitting. Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video you're watching right this second is based on. Hopefully I'll see you very, very soon, but in the meantime, just be good to yourself, eh? Bye-bye!